Hello everybody, this is George Coco and it's Lazy Days again. Alright. And 今日Lazy Days のね、今日のバージョンは very very 特別、カリフォルニアから友達が来たんで we're gonna have him show up. Right? You here?
I'm here.
Yeah?
I'm
so,
here live.
ジョシュさんです。Alright, Lazy Days, here we go. All right, here we are. Josh, for people that don't know you, where are you from originally?
So, I'm born and raised in San Diego, South County we call it, just Pacific Beach area.
Oh, well, you're born and raised San Diego.
So is my wife, born and raised in La Jolla.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, me and my wife are both born and raised in Kamakura.
Yeah, there you go.
So, yes, sir.
Keeping it local.
Yep. And you're here this time to shape or just to hang out?
No, it's been 5 years since my last trip, and I'm here just doing a little bit of PR work, meeting old clients, meeting potentially new clients, and just getting to travel, trying to, the market's been a little soft, world economy stuff, so kind of touching base with people, seeing what's going on. And
it's a good time to come if you're an American because the yen is so damn cheap.
I know. I wanted to bring my family and do a longer trip, but we're going to Italy next in like 2 weeks for a wedding.
Oh.
So I didn't want to back to back with the two little kids. But
how old are your kids? 2 kids.
So I have 2 kids now. Our son Cardone is 2.5, and our baby girl Cava is 8.5 months.
There's strange names, Cardone and Cava.
So Cardone are the big cactuses on the Baja Peninsula, but there's also 2 really famous waves. There's a right point in Baja, and then on mainland Mexico, there's a left point. And then Cava, C-A-V-A, is the, 20 plus years ago, I used to import wine into San Diego from the Cava wine region of Spain. And so Cava is Spanish bubbly.
Bubbly. You used to import wine.
Used to, yeah. In another lifetime.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah.
So wait, how did you get into the surfing and shaping and all that?
Well, so I was real fortunate to grow up at the beach there at Crystal Pier. And when I was younger, 13, 14 is when I really started. On that street, Skip Fry had his surf shop and Bert Huffman had his surf shop. So between the two, we were just surrounded by board builders, Joe Roper and Larry Mobile, Glenn Horn, like Hank Warner, legend guys. And I wanted to figure out what I could do to continue to surf as much as possible. Like everybody, right?
Yeah.
Started with ding repair.
Yeah.
And then the summer.
You started with ding repair?
Oh, yeah.
They made me start with wet sanding.
Oh,
the
yeah.
The final thing.
Yeah. Ding repair in the garage.
Yes.
And then my dad and I built a shaping room in the garage. And
your dad? And you built it?
Yeah. Pretty nice, for a first-time shaping room. And
well, your dad was helping you on this?
He was a carpenter. He helped me build the room, but the funny story is when I was 16, my dad picked me up one day and I had expressed interest in wanting to learn how to shape, and Skip happened to be sitting on the cul-de-sac watching the surf. He goes, "Oh, I'm gonna go ask Skip if you could watch him." And I was like, no, don't. And so my dad went and, hello, Mr. Fry, my son Josh, and he knew we were the Rat Pack, we were the Groms. So he knew that. But anyways, totally shot me down.
Oh, he said no.
Yeah, he said no way. So anyways, and then a couple years later, I finally ordered my first board from him, and then that's when our relationship started organically.
You were a customer after that.
Yeah. Well, and then family,
Yeah, well, then when did you get to start shaping? What was the...
So 25 years ago was my first shape, 1999.
And how old were you then?
18.
That's pretty young.
Yeah, so I didn't do it and plan like, I'm gonna be a shaper as a business, but I would build a board a month. Joe Roper would glass them. And I went to college, so I have a degree in Spanish literature, which is where kind of that wine, so 3 years after college, I worked for that wine company in San Diego, still shaping and surfing, but had like a different business.
You studied Spanish literature?
Yeah, in Spain. I lived in Spain for a year for that, yeah.
Oh. Is the Spanish in Spain different from Mexico?
Well, it's all Castellano, Spanish, but the dialects change. Yeah. So my ear is tuned to Spain Spanish. Obviously, I go to Mexico throughout the year all the time, so that's fine. But it's tough. Sometimes, like the local fisherman Spanish in Baja is it's like our surfer English. You know?
It's
Colloquial.
slang,
Yeah.
colloquial
It
slang.
took me a couple trips to be like, oh, okay. But the wine thing happened with a friend from San Diego. While I was living in Spain, he was over there researching wineries and such. So I go, oh, that sounds fun.
So how many bottles do you import at once?
We imported 3 containers, and on a container there was.
That's a lot of banks.
Yeah, I wasn't involved in that part. I just was out there to sell it. 1,200 cases. I think.
That's a lot.
Yeah, we didn't know what we were doing at all. Like, we sold it, and then we're like, wait, there's no money. And we sold all the wine. Your money's coming in, you think, oh, cool, we can pay ourselves.
Yeah.
But there's nothing going back into inventory. Yeah, so I learned a lot. It was a pretty hard transition, so that ended in 2005, and I went to dinner with Skip and Donna, and I said, hey, I really want to give this shaping thing a go, and
This has been several years since you made your shaping room, right?
Oh yeah, and I'd probably done maybe 100 boards up to that point. And Skip, I was still getting boards from Skip, so I was in the room with him all the time, and doing that. And they go, yeah, we'll give. They gave me their blessing, and away I went. Josh Hall Surfboard started officially in 2006.
Oh really? So he in the end he was.
Oh, super supportive of it. Yeah. Him and Donna were very supportive.
Well, that was good. It's always good to have a guy like that because surfboard shaping, it's not just numbers, right?
Yeah.
It's the eye and it's the flow of the fucking rails.
Yeah.
I mean,
and rocker.
Yeah.
And
it's not a measurable thing to me when I look at it, and each board has to be a piece of art, right?
Yeah. I mean, and especially Skip, his boards are so unique. So kind of when I started writing his boards, they formed how I surfed. So I was realizing that, well, I better figure out how to shape these things because he's not going to shape forever. However, he is 83 and he's still shaping. That was my thought, like, no one else shapes like this at that time. Now there's some other friends of ours that are doing the fry thing, and they're doing really good boards. But back then I was like,
people might have an image of Skip as an old school shaper, but he's not, huh? He's always trying something new, right?
Always moving forward. Like, the board I surfed today was a 11-foot Skip Fry Eagle from like 1998, which is when I started getting boards. And compared to how his boards are now, totally different. Same model, totally different. The rails, the bottom contour. So it's inspiring to know that even my craft can continue to evolve.
Yeah. Well, I think the surfing industry now it's not all the same anymore, right? They expect odd-looking boards. People ride longboards and shortboards. I mean, it's not like two different worlds.
I think in San Diego, that's how you grow up. Like Joel Tudor's a friend of mine, and he's always a very ride everything. To access all the waves in San Diego, you can't just longboard.
Yeah.
You need to ride smaller boards.
He can rip on a shortboard.
Yeah, he rips, man. Yeah, Joel rips. So he was a big inspiration too. But growing up in San Diego in our neighborhood there, you kind of already rode everything. Like, it wasn't trendy to have an 8-foot egg and a 5'10" fish. You just had it because that's what you rode.
Everybody rode that stuff, huh?
And so now that movement's gone out and around, and I think the younger generations are getting on that earlier. They're realizing they can't rip like Kelly Slater, which none of us can.
Yeah, those pros, they used to come to 4 Point when I lived in San Francisco. Kern would come in. I think he'd sell his boards there.
Oh yeah.
And kids would try to ride them, and they couldn't ride them. I mean, they were like a potato chip.
I know. And that's what makes those guys so special. When you do see them surf in person on that equipment, you're just like, wow, I'm a complete kook.
Yeah. How do they do this stuff?
Yeah.
But the boards are made for them. Right?
Correct. Yeah.
What are your boards you shape now? You shape long and short, right?
Yeah. So I shape fishes. I shape eggs. They call them mid-lengths, but I have a lot of models from 7 to 9 feet. and then I do longboards, both classic and kind of 2+1 styles. Not too like, not Hawaiian style, but just like my San Diego style of a 2+1 longboard. And then the big boards, 10 to 12 feet, yeah.
You do eggs and fishes too, right?
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Your main gig was eggs and fishes.
Part of it, yeah. But I grew up a longboarder, so yeah, I'm more of a longboarder riding smaller boards than a shortboarder. I've never ridden a standard thruster shortboard.
Oh, really?
Never attracted me, and so I don't shape them.
Well, if you don't ride them, you can't shape them.
Yeah. A question often, yeah, totally. A couple times this trip, people go, "What's the most important thing for shaping a board?" And I go, "Surfing."
Yeah.
They're thinking, "Oh, rocker or rail," but you got to surf.
You can't just copy another guy's board.
You got to, yeah.
You got to surf it.
You got to ride all the, I don't ride the 510s. I do have a 6-foot quad fish that I ride, but 6'8" is like my standard. But and I ride the 11s all the time. So it's like I ride all the models that I shape.
That's so important for a shaper to ride your boards and ride them well.
Yeah.
Or else you don't know how they work.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and for me, I think too, when you get into this, I'm in the higher end of the market, right?
Yeah.
There's other guys building boards that are similar, but they don't necessarily ride them, and so that's important. That's that little extra mana in there that,
that's the magic in there, right?
Yeah.
But, the eggs, sometimes the eggs I see are kind of like short longboards. Is that the kind of concept there? Because it's so wide, right? Yeah,
the egg has been, Skip's been credited with designing the first egg back, I think it was an 8.0 23 by 3. I think 69 is when he shaped it, but that model kind of got bastardized with the fun board. Narrow rocker, like
7-foot fun boards.
Yeah. So I keep them pretty traditional, but multiple fins. You can do tri-fin, 2+1, single fin. I have a couple egg models that I actually put quad fins on. So
really?
It's a really versatile, like an 8-foot egg, you could pretty much surf all year round.
How's your fish market? Is it?
Yeah, fish. I do a lot of fishes.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
That's the kind of image of your boards I have.
Yeah, the Fish Simmons, like the 7.6, 8.0. Yeah. Well, those boards are great for longboarders because it allows them to come down in size, but still feel like they have the paddle power. And then when they're over the fins, it's loose.
Yeah. Yeah, I always crack me up when they started serving fish at my local Point Break. The old man, they used to say, no longboards allowed, right?
Yeah.
But the older guys started riding fishes, and I used to go, look, that's a fucking longboard. Come on, it's just short.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But they made these rules about no longboards, but they were riding basically longboards themselves.
Yeah, cheating. Yeah, those boards allow you to compete with longboards if they're built right.
Yeah, you can catch those waves right away, right?
Yeah. So in my car, I have a 9.0 Fish Simmons, a 7.11 Fish Simmons tri-fins, 6.8, and that 6-foot quad fish, and that's pretty much like my
arsenal in there, right?
That's in my truck. And then if it's smaller, I'll load up the 11-footers, and go for a surf.
The thing about it, and I'm 68 now, 68,
Yeah.
And sometimes I just get out there on some shit day and just ride the suit.
Yeah.
And just stand there and ride the suit. I mean, I still get the same thrill as I did when I used to try other things.
Yeah.
Just that, all we're looking for, I think, as a surfer is just a glide, right?
Yeah.
What else is there? You know what I mean?
Stand tall, do nothing at all, right?
Yeah, stand tall, do nothing at all.
That's the old adage. I mean, right now with the 2 young kids, my surf sessions are 45 minutes or an hour. If I can juggle the day right. So I'll ride a 9.6, like go fast longboard, like a 2+1, and just paddle my ass off for 45 minutes and go home. I'm not sitting at Windansea or
waiting.
Some of the other reefs in La Jolla that I like to surf, 3 hours to catch 4 waves. Like right now those days are on pause, but
it's kind of interesting because as you get older, realize that what you're looking for in surfing isn't the same anymore.
Yeah, totally.
Well, but it was actually, it really was the same. You just didn't realize it. You know, when you try to get all squirrely and shit, you know.
Yeah. I just tell people I like going as fast as possible with as least amount of work, you know.
Yeah.
Like crank a turn in, that right on, you know.
So what's your plans now? I mean, you're shaping and having a good time. And
Things are, you know, like I said, the economy worldwide's a little slow, so just trying to check in and see what plans we're doing. At home, I'm really lucky. My shop's about a 2-minute drive from my house, so just focusing on, you know, being a good dad and a husband and surfing when,
kids take up more time than you ever imagine.
Yeah, man. But I say I had 40 years my way.
Yeah, now it's
So it's okay, you know. I'm still not trying to be like,
You're here for how long?
Unfortunately, I got to go home tomorrow.
Oh shit.
Yep. I've been here for 9 days, and which is the biggest time away from my family with both kids. So my wife's definitely chomping at the bit for me to be home. But I'm gonna go home and work for a couple weeks, put together this, you know, the people and things I've met on this trip, and kind of figure it out, and then.
Well, I hope you had a good trip here this time.
Yeah, man.
And you got any call-outs for any shops that are selling your board? Where did they get your boards in Japan?
Right now, everything's been kind of on hold this last year, so we're here trying to get some things going again. Olympia Surf Shop from Shikoku was my original shop from 20 years ago, and
He's still here from 20 years ago.
We went to his local break down there at Oki Beach, and there was 13 boards in the water of clients of mine over the last 20 years. It was really special. So longboard guys, you know, longboard crew, and so we're just trying to, you know, get some things going here.
All right.
Yeah, man.
Well, good, man.
Hopefully.
Glad to see you again.
Yeah.
How old are you now?
44.
44.
Yeah.
I used to think you were a young guy.
I was when we met.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you, Josh.
All right. Thank you, guys. Thanks, George.